So I'd like to welcome on stage, first up, Max Junestrand, founder and CEO of Legora.
Thanks, mate. Awesome. It's so great to be here. Let me actually do... Right, the cord is there. Amazing. It's great to present in Stockholm, and it's great to not present to a crowd of lawyers. It's the first time in a really long time, and I'm really excited for this conversation and day here. I'm here to talk about the best practices of AI in law. When ChatGPT was released about 3.5 years ago, I think the first application outside of coding that many minds jumped to was law. But law has a lot of intricacies, hard problems, trust issues that we had to overcome in order to deploy our solutions at scale. So, 2.5 years ago, in the conference room of a law firm in Sweden, Leia was founded. Leia was our name before Legora and before we got sued. Legora wasn't good enough then to protect us, but now it is. And since then, we've deployed at scale. So since founding the company just 2.5 years ago, we've scaled to over 700 enterprises where we're deployed. We've raised over 230 million euros, all from investors primarily in the US, Europe, wake up. And we've scaled the team to over 300 professionals, over 7 offices. And we have a large team of legal engineers. These are ex-lawyers who have woken up to the fact that their industry is about to change forever, and they want to be part of changing it with us. Legora is a little bit like a scary clown. Wherever the lawyer is working, we pop up and we scare them. We're in the web, we're in the mobile, we're in Word, where they draft and review documents. We're in Outlook, where most partners spend their entire days. If you ask a legal team how they manage their task, the answer more often than not is Outlook to-dos. So we're deployed across all of those stacks, and I assume that many in here are engineers and builders, so you might not be familiar to the professional service stack, but this is where we live. This is the reality of our days, and we love it. Legora expands use cases across every single vertical of legal work. And this means that we work with litigators, we work with transactional lawyers, we work with IP lawyers, we work with in-house lawyers, and we solve a lot of different tasks for them by building tools that both humans can use and our agents can use. This is a really important statement. When MCP was announced, I think in November 2024, we were quick to say, from now on, Legora has 2 types of users. Not 2 types of lawyers, but 2 types of users, humans and agents. And this means that every time we build out a tool, like our Tabular review, for instance, this can be used both by humans and by agents, leveraging our system. We are also very excited about a change that we're bringing to the industry. We are making it possible for law firms to productize their knowledge and to expose this to enterprises and clients in a new way. So how many people in here have ever worked with a law firm? Okay, so that's about 70%. I assume that that interaction was on email. Yes. Sending emails back and forth with a law firm is horrendous. Not having access to your documents sucks. And actually bringing all of these enterprises and old firms into the age of software has been something they sort of were reluctant to for a long time. But AI is changing the narrative, and enterprises and clients are putting an enormous pressure on these organizations to change. So not only are we a tool, but we partner with these organizations to bring them success. So with that, let's jump to a demo. Let me hook up the computer, and I'm going to show all of you some things that I hope you've never seen before. Because how many in here know what an SPA is? Oh, so that's about 10%. So for everybody who doesn't know what an SPA is, you are in for a treat. We are going to have a look at share purchase agreements. And I'm going to show you how we can automate the drafting of them. How exciting. So here you see Legora in the web. But like I said, we are like a scary clown. So if you open up Word, what's there? It's Legora. So what can we do here? How many in here have used Cursor? Okay, that's a lot of people. So Legora is like Cursor, but for lawyers. So we are embedded into Microsoft Word here, and I've opened up a share purchase agreement, one of the most exciting documents in transactional law. This is about 46 pages of text that looks like this. And you might say, wow, why didn't I study law? But I'm going to show you how we're making the life of lawyers much more exciting. So I'm going to attach a file, and I'm going to attach the share purchase agreement term sheet. The term sheet is another really interesting document. It holds all the details about the deal that we're working on. And then I'm going to give Legora a prompt. So outline how the attached term sheet aligns with the SPA. You should clearly specify where there's alignment and where there's deviation. Please present this in a table. Okay, so now Legora is going to work. It is checking the alignment between our term sheet and our share purchase agreement. And you might say, Max, this does not look like a lot of fun. But I'll tell you, when we show these to partners and to working lawyers, their jaws drop. So what's going on here? Well, Legora is working, and it's producing a ton of different citations here for us, so we know that this is grounded in the truth. And one thing that we've learned serving lawyers is that you have to be very, very detail-oriented. Legora spitting out something wrong and them maybe passing that on in a deal is really, really risky. I don't know if you saw these publications about submitting wrong cases, for instance, to the judge. That's enough to get discarded from the bar. So the stakes are really high here. We don't call this vibe drafting for a reason. Okay, so Legora is working there. Let's actually see if it's done. Okay, it's already done here. So it's produced as a summary. It's explained, let's see here, where in the term sheet agreement, right? So if you remember, this is the other really fun document. This is the term sheet. So where in the term sheet it found information, like this one, and where it read that part in the SPA. And then it's cross-referencing them, right? So with that done, maybe actually let's ask Legora to implement these changes. Because what we've now done is we've asked it to find all the deviations. So let's go back here. Let's open up our copy-paste. Let's say here. Oh, we pasted it in the wrong place. Let's go. Oh, where are we putting it? Here's it. Based on the above deviations, make all the correct edits into the document to align with them. All right, let's have it go. Okay, so while Legora is making some edits there, let's go over to the app and I'll show you one more thing. So we can start with the agent and our assistant, but I'd actually like to start with something we call Tabular Review. So Tabular Review was one of the early things that we built because the context windows of the sort of chat-based assistants couldn't handle the amount of load that we needed to work with. So if I open up my files here, I'm going to bring over some employment files. So here I have a ton of different contracts, employment contracts. I'm going to take them, just drag them in here, and now every single row is becoming a document. And on these rows, I can add columns. And a column becomes a prompt that runs across all of them. But I actually prepared a template here. So let's go in, let's say employment. Employment contract due diligence template. So this is going to run 7 different prompts. Use. Great. So now Legora is taking all these different prompts in the columns, and it's running that across all the documents at the same time. If you're working on a transaction where you need to review the entire data room, or if you're working in litigation and you need to perform e-discovery, basically looking at a bunch of different emails and finding if something is wrong, then this is perfect. So Legora is extracting all this information. Maybe let's go and add one more thing here. So we can check IP and say IP rights. And I'm feeling lazy, so let's AI generate the prompt. Then Legora will write it for us. Do you remember how prompting used to be really important on GPT 3.5, and now it's really not? It's great. Okay, so Legora is working here. That's super. Let's go check on this. All right, we've got something here. So Legora has made 42 edits and suggestions on things it wants to change in this document to make it conform with the term sheet. That's super, because I really want to take Friday evening. So let's scroll all the way down, and let's just hit Apply All. And now, Legora will edit faster than you're able to go and get a cup of coffee. Amazing. So it's making all of these edits in the document, and I know that there's not a lot of wooing here, but I'll tell you, if you show this at a legal conference, like, the applause overwhelm you. Thank you. I need to get that dopamine. Okay, so this is really exciting. Legora has extracted a ton of data from documents. Again, extremely exciting. So what can we do now? Well, first, maybe let's review this so we know what it is. Say, employment DD. That's super, because now we're going to find it. And then, what if we want to use this extraction that we did? So let's say we've been lots of people in our team. I've been the partner. I have a few associates. We've all worked on this very, very good tabular review where we've extracted all the data, we've opened the data, and we've looked here. So Robert is making $200,000. Great for Robert. We can open that in the reference. What does it say? 195,000. Very good. We can check. We can go, that looks good. Review. Thumbs up. And now that turns green. So the way lawyers work today in big transactional law firms is they work with Excels, and they send this back and forth, and it's complete chaos. So just having it all in one place is actually a huge life changer. But we're happy with this data. Everything has been checked. Let's go back to the assistant, and let's use this to actually draft something. So again, I'm going to be a bit lazy here and say, draft the employment section of the attached DD template. Because I want to draft in the style of my firm. So what do I have here? Well, I actually have a template here that explains exactly how I want my report to be written. And almost every big firm has one of these. So let's take that. Let's attach it. Whoops. And let's just add the employment DD as the context. And then I actually want to create an editable document. So let's fire that off. The context going into Legora's agent now is the employment due diligence tabular review that we just extracted, the red flag due diligence report that we wanted to follow, and now Legora goes to work. So our agent starts by inspecting that tabular review, extracting all the insights, extracting all the knowledge, and then it's reading through the red flag report and will create a full output for us. But in the meantime, I thought I'd show you just one more thing. So for everybody who doesn't work in a law firm and doesn't draft SPAs every single day, there's also other use cases for Legora. So let's open up a simple NDA, and I'll show you something a bit more simple. So if you open up an NDA, I open up Legora here again. I've actually created a couple of playbooks for my firm. So playbooks are effectively a collection of rules and example language that your company is willing to accept when it's reviewing NDAs or MSAs or whatever it might be. And these have actually gotten so good that our sales team is working with them. So we no longer send NDAs or these types of documents to our legal function. We just operate via our playbooks. So here, I can search up a mutual non-disclosure agreement playbook. And here, I've created a couple of different rules that I want Legora to follow. So for instance, here in the duration of confidentiality obligations, I've created a rule that it must be at least for 5 years and that trade secrets must be protected indefinitely. I know that all of you want to work in legal tech when you hear these exciting words. So we can run that playbook. Again, lawyers love this stuff. So we're running the playbook. Legora is taking every single rule here and it's running them in parallel. Let's check in on our assistant here. Okay, wow, it's really gone ham here. So the employment DD, key findings, with references back to the tabular review where it's finding things, and it's created an editable document for us here. Additional considerations, blah, 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 blah. Great. Okay, it's done. It's created a document. Now, we might be so excited about this that we want to invite a couple of people or go in and say, claim my Max Junestrand. It's important that you take take the accountability for your work. So now I'm officially the author of this amazing due diligence report. I can export that in my firm's styling, which again is something people go crazy for, and it's all really exciting. And now the playbook is also coming back here. It's a very company-favored M&A. Of course, we're a legal tech, that's how we draft, but it doesn't really fit with all the rules here for the seller. So it's quite broad. You can do a lot of things. We want not only to be the Iron Man suit of every lawyer, but more and more so we just want to be the swarm of agents that they're instructing and sort of shooting out to go and do work for them. And I'm not sure how we are on time. I think I'm running over. So I'm running over. Thank you very much.